Hi, my name is Meshika David, and I represent CMM Group of companies. Our group focuses on franchising. We operate within the franchising sector and own and operate a network of franchises. We currently have a network of 12 franchises with famous brands. So it's in the quick service restaurant space, the brands being primarily Debonair, Steers, and Fisherways. My husband has been involved a lot longer than I have. I've been from corporate. And when I had taken a decision to leave corporate and I got involved initially in the business, and I guess my passion for business and the industry just grew. And when we started off, we started on one franchise, and I think we just grew the business throughout the years into the network we currently have. So quite by chance initially, but then we grew it from there. I think if I look back in retrospect, there are many things. Obviously, it's over a decade worth of work, so there's so many contributing factors. But when I really think about it, I think the most important thing for me was to learn to embrace failure as much as I embrace success. Because I found that once you've learned to embrace failure, it actually pushes you and propels you further into greater success. Because initially when you start, if you do fail or encounter failure, it kind of sets you back and then you feel sort of almost afraid or apprehensive about expansion and moving forward, because we don't initially see it as a stepping stone or a guidance in the way we should be working, and we don't take the lessons learned. And when I started embracing the fact that you have to be able to embrace those failures in order to grow, it led to greater success and greater expansion of the business. So I would say if I had to pick one, it would be to learn on how to embrace failure, which is not easy. Embracing failure is never easy. But once you actually get there and you learn how to navigate it, it becomes easier and then it just becomes habit. Like I said, that it's been over a decade, so there has been so many. It'll be remiss of me just to mention specific people and leave out others, so I'm not going to take that risk. However, I am going to say that my greatest cheerleader is my husband. And sometimes I think he thinks I can walk on water, which I can't. But I guess I've grown up in an environment where there hasn't been a glass ceiling. I've had a father, male figures in my life, in particular, a father that has always believed I could do more than I thought that I could do. And now having a supportive husband as well that also believes the same has been incredible for me, is that their belief in me is what actually propelled me to actually believe in things that I didn't believe in initially that I could have achieved. I think like most businesses in KZN, it has been an incredible, challenging 3 years from 2020, 2021, 2022, and I'll take you very briefly through the challenges. Having a network of franchise fast food outlets. First it was COVID, and shutting those business down in March of 2020 came quite as a surprise or a shock, I would say, because we would have ever expected to close those businesses, and having to navigate through that challenge. And it brought a whole set of new rules, a whole set of new trading, and we had to learn very fast, very, very fast. And I'll go through how we overcame as I go through the challenges through that. You had to be agile. You had to learn how to adapt very fast. You had to learn how to respond to the market very quickly. For example, we were shut and then suddenly you had to open for delivery only. But you had to have the capacity and the capability to do that. And it's reacting to the market change very quickly, and therefore your business had to be in a position to adapt and to be agile enough to move with that. Also, consumer habits and spending and behaviors changed during that time, and the market so rapidly changed towards convenience, and still up till today. We've just switched to a completely convenient market as a result of COVID. So we once again had to redo strategy very quickly and understand how do we position ourselves in the market again. And once we we're back and stabilized the businesses after COVID, we were hit with civil unrest. And unfortunately, we had lost 7 stores completely in the civil unrest. And I think that was the greatest challenge. And I think through that also came the big victories, because nothing tests you like that. It tests you on so many different levels. It tests you emotionally, physically, financially. And it was a long period since Sasria actually came to the party to discuss, settle. So it was over a year. But we also knew that we couldn't close our businesses in the meantime and sit upon, wait for payouts, etc. And we had to be very quick once again to get back up and decide what we're going to do. And we were looted in January 2021. August 15th, 2021, we reestablished 2 businesses, and by October, all 7 businesses were up and running. And I think navigating through that was the greatest challenges I personally have faced in business. Undoubtedly, yes, it was. I think the psychological scars will always be there, because, or maybe not always, but it'll take a while to get over, because when the looting did happen, we watched it on camera. And you spent over 10 years building these businesses, and in a couple of hours, you watch them being torn apart, which was very devastating for us, to be completely honest. And I think by the 3rd day, my business partner and my husband, we had to look at each other in the eye and decide what was next. And I think we just decided, not today. We have to get up. And if there's one thing that I can say, is that momentum is everything. Even if you don't know what you're doing, just get up and start doing something. Because if you're going to keep yourself in that space of devastation, you're not going to move. You can still feel not great or devastated, but you can move forward. Every step counts, every email counts, every phone call counts, every person you reach out to, every little thing you acquire to rebuild counts. On that part about recovering and also setting back, I think forgiveness plays a huge part of that as well. We operate in communities, in township economies also. And to be able to get up and go and serve communities after being through that devastation, you're not going to be able to do that if you're not patriotic and also embrace forgiveness, to be able to continue with developing and continue to be moving on and also making a difference whilst you're doing so. We've won a number of awards throughout the years, actually. And this year, we won as well. We won the KZN Top Business Franchising Sector. We won Sobe Franchise Partner of the Year nationally. But if I have to say that our greatest achievements, and mine in particular, was in that year, 2021, where we were still awarded, we were awarded a Debonair's Franchise of the Year regionally, and Sobe, which was also looted during 2021, also won the KZN Salon of the Year. And I think that is just testament to putting your hand to the wheel and getting back, because you don't have to compromise on excellence, even in the rebuilding. So our future goals is that we continue to expand our network of franchises. Yesterday, actually, we opened a new store, and it was our first township development. And it has been such an adventurous journey in doing so. Our future goals is to expand within township economies, particularly also because we are highly passionate about economic development. And I think we need to now change the narrative and change the lyric. It's time for private sector to step up, and we can't simply just wait on government or scorecards to actually make a difference in the economy. At the end of the day, small, medium businesses and even large businesses are the lifeblood of this economy. And stepping up to that and taking an active role in the economy is what we plan on doing. So we look forward to future township developments, We have another 7 developments on the cards by the end of next year and hope it will all work well. For young women, I would say that's venturing out into business or any new venture, be it business, career, wherever it is that you want to achieve. The first thing that you should do every single day is strive to be the highest authentic version of yourself. You don't have to be anybody else. And that's something that I try and do every single day, is to fulfill that, the highest authentic version of myself, number one, to do that. The other thing is that you're not going to win at business or anything else for that matter if you're not winning at life. So holistically, you have to be winning as a person, as an individual, as a woman. We wear many caps. Work-life balance, family, relationships are very important. If you're not winning in your relationship, it's going to be difficult for you to navigate through anything else. Mental health is not overrated. Please overrate it. It is fundamental to your success in life. A key to a lot of the things is also, I believe, and something taught by me by my late dad, is that knowledge is power, silence is golden, and wisdom endures. So I think skill, firstly, if you're going to navigate anything, be it new venture, career, business, acquire the skill to do so, because that will put you in good stead and in a position of power. Don't speak unless it is to improve the silence. And wisdom endures for sure, and that does come with experience, but also the ability to step back and look and learn. Step away from the blame game, because whenever we're faced with failure or something goes wrong, the looting, for example, we could step back and say, gosh, look at this place, look at the political landscape, how do we trade, how do we work, how do we get back? It was unfair that this happened to us, and indeed it was unfair that it happened to us. But being able to step back from that situation and look at yourself and say, okay, now that this has happened, how should I have done something differently? What could we have had in place to have had the better outcome? And through that process, you gain the wisdom as you move forward into new ventures and other ventures on how you could have done things differently, which will hold you in good stead. Yeah. Also, the belief that, and I think it was Carl Jung that said that in every chaos there's cosmos, in every disorder there's a secret order. And in that process as well, when calamity hits or when challenges are faced, step back and find that order. Because there's most definitely, I can attest to that from all the challenges we've been through. Just take a step back, because there's definitely an order that you can find that works for you in any chaos. I find balance in my life with difficulty. It's not always easy. And why I stress on it and say it's important is that don't leave it to chance. Schedule it in, take a step back and do it purposefully and intentionally. You've got to achieve that balance only by intention and purpose. I enjoy nature, and I think it's actually a Japanese concept. They call it nature baths, because I just feel it refreshes my soul, be it at a farm or just sitting and taking in the surroundings around you. So I do that. I certainly enjoy reading, and I take time out to read, spending time with my family as a whole, or just spending time with my daughter and making sure that I put enough into that relationship. Also, investing in my relationship with my spouse as well is equally important. And I navigate that very, very consciously, because there's times where we can just get on that hamster wheel and not realizing how we've let things slip until it could be too late. So that would be my advice, is to be intentional and purpose. Being part of the KZN Top Business Initiative for me, firstly, is very humbling indeed. Also such a privilege and honor. And I'd like to thank, firstly, Grant and Gail for the opportunity. And also, I think it's a fantastic platform For me personally, I intend using the platform to promote community economic development and to drive that agenda. Because as I said previously as well, that private sector needs to step up, and I'm going to use the platform to invite private sector to get on it and to change this narrative on economic development.